on? Testing, testing. Check 1, 2. We good? Great. All right, welcome to CAJ. My name is Mr. Dishner. I'm the jazz band director here. Thanks to everybody for coming. Sorry about the craziness on the trains. Can't be helped, shogunai, ne? But thank you for coming. I'm glad that you're here. So just a couple of tips for today. So there is a schedule. Your directors know it. And I have some students that are assigned to help with that. So if you're it'd be kind of hard to see. Can you lower the stage lights, Mr. McKay, just a little bit? There we go. Okay. So on our stage, I have student volunteers helping with different bits and parts of the day. So if you're a director of a school, can you raise your hand? All right, they're hard to see, but do you see them? So we have our two runners right here that are going to be helping to remind you to go downstairs to the warm-up room. There's a schedule downstairs on the whiteboard, so that way you know when it's your time about to come upstairs, but I don't have a schedule up here. So you'll just have to keep an eye on the clock, but hopefully they'll remind you as well. For all of you that are not familiar with the Higashikurume area, I have 4 students that can help each school, and those people are, raise your hands. So I'm going to assign them to each school. So I think we did ASIJ, we have Seisen, and then we have, raise your hands, so St. Maur, yes, and then we have St. Mary's. Okay, so all these lovely ladies are going to help you find the places that you need to eat if you don't know where to go, okay? And then, as we set up in between stuff, I have students that are going to be helping to switch the stage out. I understand that each director has a different configuration, so as soon as the adjudicators start making comments and they're done, let's just try to make that change as fast as possible to switch between groups. So bathrooms, important. Bathrooms are downstairs, so you can take the stairwell downstairs, exit out of the door to your left, and the bathrooms are right below the stage. Don't worry, we can't hear a thing. Downstairs in the the warm-up room, there is an amp. Please be careful about the volume because it's basically hollow between down there and up here, and we'll feel and hear the reverberations. So just so you know that. Yep, and then of course, at the end of the day, we're gonna have a performance by our wonderful adjudicators that's going to start right at 1:30. So all students, you need to be back in here at 1:15 after lunch, okay? And when we all leave for lunch, I'm locking up the building. So if you need to leave stuff here, that's fine, we'll lock it. But make sure that you have all of your important valuables with you during the day. I think that's everything. Great, okay, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, we're gonna be playing 3 tunes for you today. The first one is Jordu by Duke Jordan. Thank you. All right, so next up, we're going to play more of a Latin style tune, kind of like Latin funk, called Jive Samba by Nat Adderley. I don't know how many of you know the genre boogaloo, but boogaloo has become one of my favorite jazz genres. It's one that not too many people know about, but it's fantastic. This kind of has some boogaloo vibes to it, which is essentially a mix between funk and Latin. They were experimenting with like a fusion style of funk and Latin back in the late 70s and mid 70s, late 70s, things like that. So around that time. So this is kind of a boogaloo tune, but I hope you enjoy Jive Samba. Well, at least this arrangement is boogaloo, I should say. All right, here we go. right, for our last tune, we're going to be playing Dat Dare by Bobby Timmons. All right. Adjudicators, feel free to pass the mic, come up, whatever you want to do. It's up to you.
All right. First thing, really good job, people. First thing in the morning, I know, and everything happened, so people are kind of like off their game. a little bit, especially like thinking, right? And you're nervous and everything. So one thing you have to do is when you're first starting out, especially in this style, just take a deep breath and let it out. Because everybody's like really tense, right? And so when you first started out with Jordu, things are a little bit off, and so you have to relax more on the melody. You can't push it, especially on ba-do-ba-zoo-ba-da-ba-da. What we got was ba-do-da-do-da-da-da-da, a little bit sped up in certain places. Relax, take a breath, just relax. Drums too, relax, okay? So when you're building this, I like what was great was you guys tuned up from the bass. Do you know how like that is, it's really, really good. I was talking to Brent before about that. I mean, hearing from the bass for one thing is really important in jazz, but to actually tune up from the bass, you get your bottom up built, and that's like really, really important. So yeah, it was a really great idea. I don't know who thought that one up, but congrats. You? Sure. Okay, good. Okay, there we go. Aaron got a plus on that one. Okay. Dynamics. So when you're doing like Jordu and also that there, like the dynamics are like really, really important because it gets part of the phrase in between and they mix together. And on like that there, the bottom of the band, you guys like, you can't hide. You guys are the main part. It's like, okay, push it a little bit more. You guys can come out a little bit more, okay? Solo, good violin solo. I know you have a little bit of a problem with like clipping there, right? So is it maybe the cable or is it the pickup when it comes into the violin maybe? Don't know? Okay. Yeah, one of the two. Okay. Yeah, but it was actually a good solo, very good solo. Also, the Barry sax player. Heard a lot of good solos there. When you're playing Barry sax and you're playing down the bottom, when the band is backing you up, it kind of disappears because you mixed in with the other notes. So in there, you have to go and bring a little bit more of the dynamics out, okay? Or bring your sax closer to the microphone, either one, okay? All right, really good job. Guys, anybody else? Jonathan? Oh, and just in case you don't know, I'm Rick Overton. This is Jonathan Katz.
Rick Overton from Tokyo College of Music. Rick Overton. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it was great. It sucks to be first, right? Come on. Like there's no one else to compare to. You have to start out this whole show. So I thought you guys did great. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the contrast. A couple of things that came to mind. And I learned this from Ryo Shibata, one of our other guys. I mean, he came and did a guest thing in a band I was teaching. And he said, the count off, right? The music starts from the count off. The chart starts from the count off. That's him. That's all Ryo Shibata. He's going to say some different things today, but I stole that from him. And it's true. And you can help that maybe even like with a little lead in, and maybe you can show something real quick. Like before the chart, right? Before the chart to help the band come, the drummer can really help that. And another thing about the drummer, as you know, the drummer is God, right? God number 2, But so the drummer determines the color of the whole thing, the volume. Yeah. So I was listening throughout the arrangements. Sometimes it sounded like transitions were like abrupt, and they could have been smoother, and the drummer helped. So the drummer needs to know the entire arrangement. What's your drummer's name? Kazuo. Great. How about the first one? The first. Jordu. Yeah, Jordu. Yeah, so the drummer needs to know the entire arrangement, who's coming in where, what they need to do to help them through. And the drums are kind of like the glue between each section of the arrangement. So the drummer has great power, and with great power comes great responsibility.
So just to give a quick comment, what he's doing on the drums, he knows the tune, I assume, to some degree, but really he's just listening and he's just accenting what he hears the band playing. That's the main job of the drummer, I would say, in most groups, especially when you see a group play live. Most of the time you're reading off of a standard or a chart, right? So they're just going off of what they know the melody to be, and they're accenting and doing all those big hits. Yeah.
The only thing, a lot's already been said, and I know time is short. The only thing I would like to add is, Ryo, I know you're busy. Can you do me a favor and play at a kind of medium volume and then play at a quiet volume? Just walking, yeah. What I felt was, when the rhythm section was playing quieter, somehow it kind of lost its glue together. And but then, when it started to get a little bit louder, and you could hit the drums a little bit harder, and you could lay into the instruments a little more, then it kind of glued together a little better. But watch what he can do, because when Ryo plays medium volume, loud volume, quiet volume, nothing is going to change about the groove. Just like a beat, just a beat.
Okay.
Now just play quiet. See that? He doesn't lose anything about the groove. So I guess what I would suggest is, when you play together, is practice playing at different volume levels, and try to play really together. You know, you're not just playing at the same time in the same room. You should try to think like one person. This is one person. I mean, this is one person also, but this is really should feel like one person. Yeah. But I really enjoyed the performance also. I don't want to sound